Welcome back to OSBA TV, our second game of our doubleheader. First game, a little bit of a wild ride, joined alongside Joe D'Agostino, Anthony Gaio on hand, and hopefully this game is anything like what that fourth quarter was in the previous game, Joe.
And I think both teams have a ton to play for right now. One team on a 4-game losing streak, the other on a 2-game winning streak. I'm excited to see how both these teams kind of come out and kind of play this first couple or so minutes.
Here you see here an early travel call actually on the floor. And just to save some confusion for everyone tonight, Jonam Kazadi is rocking number 50 instead of his usual number 16 tonight. Here's Brock Newton. Mid-range shot, can't get it to go, and Cole Scott comes down with a tough rebound. Scott immediately goes down the other way, can't get it to go. Stewart on the offensive glass puts it in for the first field goal of the game. Rory Stewart, like I said, on the rebound, but this team in general is not a great rebounding team. Their leading rebounder at only 6 boards a game. Kazadi, Scott, Kraus, back to Scott. Nice give and go that time in transition.
Nice little flashy end to that play, and it all started off of a turnover on the other end. You said that rebounding hasn't been their strong suit so far. It hasn't been too much of an issue with them, but they can turn defense into offense.
Good job by Mason Kraus on Brock Newton that time. Kowal who had a big game against Central Tech. Kowal looking to get going. Met at the summit, but a foul coming on Rory Stewart.
You mentioned that he had a great game last week, and he was one of those guys that really provided a spark for Southwest when they started to kind of trail against Central Tech. So we expect him to have a good game tonight, and he started already with getting to the free throw line.
Kowal in the air, coming in as their third leading scorer, I should say. Sorry, fourth leading scorer. Misreading a bit here, coming in at 10 points per game and about 5.5 rebounds as well. To go along with that, he goes 1 for 2 at the line. Scott over to Kraus. Nice job to Kazadi. And baskets are coming easy right now inside the lane here for Rise Prep.
Not a lot of help on the interior for Southwest. They're going to need to clean that up, or this game can start pulling away from them early.
Newton down low in the post. Up top to Grant. Ziphion Grant. Can't get it to go, and Kazadi comes down with the rebound. Interesting start tonight. Grant getting the start as Johnson gets the ball knocked away. Last game, Ziphion Grant didn't get the start, and they put Ethan Butler in the starting rotation.
But when he came in that first quarter, he really provided a huge energy boost for them. His first quarter was a lot better than the rest of the game for him, but that start by him was really one of those reasons why Southwest was in it for the long haul in that game.
Johnson over to Kazadi up top. Looking to take it himself. Good cutoff that time. And nearly turned over, and now it is. Grant has a free lane, and he jams it down with one hand. First field goal made of the night for Southwest. Spin move by Stewart. Great footwork, and gets the friendly roll that time on the baby hook. Della Foresta. Cut off by Scott that time. Here's Newton. Great on-ball defense by Mason Kraus so far on Newton. Grant, 10 seconds on the shot clock. Step back three, gets it to go. Ziphion Grant, 2 baskets in a row now for him.
What a great individual effort by Grant. And listen, he might not make that shot all the time, but he will take it every single opportunity he can get, and he'll think that he'll make it every single time. His confidence is at an all-time high when he shoots the ball.
Scott, one of the faster guards in the league, if not the fastest. There's Kazadi, no call. No good on the offensive board either. Newton to push it up now for Southwest, their leading scorer. Grant going in strong with the hop step. Oh, beautiful move that time by Ziphion Grant. 3 field goals made in a row.
This is what he did in the first quarter last week, and he's doing the same thing tonight.
All even at 8 here, coming up on 6:30 in the first quarter. Kraus, he has that range. Mason Kraus, too strong that time. And it bounces on top despite it going in.
Too friendly of a bounce that time.
Yep.
And this is interesting because we saw this from Southwest last week when they played Central Tech. They started that first quarter red hot, scored 37 in that first quarter when they were averaging around 75 in their games, and then it started to cool down a bit. So right now they're starting strong now. We'll see if they can continue it.
Grant missed everything that time except the backboard. Scott. Kraus. Surprised he didn't pull up that time. Loses the ball, and Grant comes away with it. Here comes Newton. Long pass to Beneby. Beneby with the soft touch gets it to go over the outstretched hands of Stewart. Scott. Jaleel Hiltz on him. Here's Kazadi. Kraus. Down low to Stewart. Grant tried to play the passing lane, and it's going to go off Stewart that time. Ziphion Grant has been all over the floor so far early in this game.
That's not going to credit him as a steal, but he's already got 2 and he's averaging 1.8 on the season, and he is averaging 15 on the season. He's already got 8, so an unbelievable start for Ziphion Grant. He's really leading the charge for Southwest.
As Beneby to Newton for 3. Good shot by Brock Newton despite Mason Kraus being all up in his grill.
Everyone's getting involved for Southwest except for Brock Newton. Finally, their leading scorer gets involved and extends the lead to 5.
Scott stripped by Hilt, and it looked like it went off him too, and it did. Southwest. We're going to see a timeout here from Rise Prep. Early timeout here. And Mario Celebre wants to talk it over, and we're going to take a break here. 13-8, Southwest leads. Newton to inbound here for Southwest. They have a 13-8 lead now, coming up on halfway through this first quarter. Grant to Noah Julian, who's in for the first time. Got the start last week against Central Tech. Kevin Barnes switching up a bit here. Cole Scott almost got the interception that time, and Grant can't finish it. Goes up for his own rebound. I like to see him pass the ball that time. And Scott climbs the ladder that time for the two-handed flush. Didn't know he had it in him. 13-10. Has Beneby behind the back. Newton driving in strong, gets the foul. He'll go to the line for 2.
And what's so interesting about Southwest, they're 4-7 on the season, but when you look at their roster and the players they have, they all show flashes of just being really great. And I think for them, it's a matter of keeping it together and them all playing great at the same time through full 4 quarters. Because when you look at their roster, everyone's kind of contributed already. We've seen Qual early on get to the line. We've seen what Ziphion Grant's done offensively and defensively. And Brock Newton, who's their top leading scorer, really even hasn't put his stamp on this game yet, and they're winning on the road. So Southwest Academy, they have the pieces. I think it's just about putting it together through a full 4 quarters.
Kazadi, clean look. I like to see him take that to the rim, though. I don't want to see him settle for that jump shot that close to the paint. Grant looks like he's going to take it himself. Bit of an awkward drive. Misses the layup. Kraus to take it up for Rise. Kraus gets it to go, and they're going to call it on the floor.
And on the other side there, Ziphion Grant, that's the second time now in a couple possessions, 2 or 3 possessions, where he's gone to the driven to the paint, I should say, and he just couldn't finish. He's a guy he's just going to continue to shoot. He thinks that he's shooting 1,000% every single time he drives to the paint. His confidence, like I said, is always high, but I think, like you said before, he needs to maybe look for that pass to the outside.
Johnson with a sweet stroke that time over Ethan Butler, who just checked in as well. As Benaby taking his time here. Julian to Newton. Sees a lane, knifing through the D, gets it to go in, the foul. Brock Newton once again. He's having his way right now with this Rise defense.
I think both teams coming out a little soft defensively as well. It seems like they're getting both teams are getting the shots they want for Rise. They've just missed a couple of easies and gimmies on the other side, but both teams offensively have started well, but a little shaky on the defensive end.
Noah Ochuti into the game now as well for Rise Prep. Of course, his brother Eden Ochuti as well on the team. Kazadi, here's Ochuti, had some space. I like to see him take that a little bit quicker that time. No need for the dribble. Hiltz driving in strong. Gets it to go. Rise cannot stop Southwest right now. Already putting up 19. We still have 3 minutes to play in the first quarter. Krause. Mason Krause finds Ochuti. Quick first step. Nice defensive recovery by Butler. Newton to take it up now for Southwest. Gets held up, steps back. Can't get the friendly roll. Gazzotti taking it up for Rise. Finds Johnson. And they're going to call a charge on Trent Johnson. Kevin Barnes is fired up on the sidelines right now for his team.
And why shouldn't he be? A great play, a great team effort on the defensive end there. They're finally starting to get their mojo on the defensive side. And if they can continue to shoot the ball the way they have in this first 8 minutes of this first quarter, they can start to pull away and maybe give them a little bit of a comforting lead going into the second quarter.
You see Kowal check back in. Guarded by Luke Grace right now. Kowal looking to go right at that matchup. Had the first step, but decided to go to his left hand for some reason that time. Ochuti, going to call it travel, but it looks like Cole Newton got hit perhaps in the face that time on the other end. Looks like he's going to stay in the game, however. Tough kid right there. Has Benaby to take it up now for Southwest. Eden Ochuti on him. And a tough pass that time, and has Benaby says, my bad.
Just a little miscommunication on that play by Southwest, and if you're Rise, you need to start putting together some string of good offensive possessions. They've had some good shots here and there, but they haven't consistently been scoring on the other end. And we were talking about it before the game that in the division that they're in at 7-5, that's just not good enough. They have to start stringing together some wins. So a good end to this first quarter is crucial for them.
Krause going in strong. What an acrobatic play. Everything but the finish. Grant comes away with it to Newton. Gets it to go. Good job that time in transition by Southwest. And Southwest is staying fresh here. Kevin Barnes doing what he did against Central Tech early on, having fast rotations here. Ochuti back out to his brother Eden. Gets it to go. Oh, in and out that time. Grant up to Hiltz. Back to Della Forsta. What a play in transition and the foul.
Fantastic ball movement and what a finish by Della Forsta. Just fantastic. A fantastic game plan so far by Southwest, now extending their lead to double digits.
Chance to make an 11-point game here at the line, and you're going to see Liam Craven come into the game here for Rise Prep. Going to take out Mason Krause for the first time. Going to give him a bit of a shooting touch here. Shoots 44% from beyond the arc. Not too bad. Not bad at all, actually. 44%. No. Quite efficient from beyond the arc. As Della Foresta completes the three-point play. See Tarek Armstrong as well come in. Going to give Brock Newton a well-needed rest. I apologize to the Newton family for that one. Up comes Ochuti. Craven. Tough pass that time, but they're going to call a foul on De La Foresta.
It looked like he was grabbing onto him, and that's why he wasn't able to handle that ball there.
Johnson is a handful inside and out. Of course, the leading scorer for this Rise Prep team at about 16.5 points per game. Shoots it pretty efficiently as well at about 51%. Ochuti. Johnson. Good cutoff by Grant. Ochuti going in strong. What a play. Kevin Barnes calling for an offensive foul. Felt like he got his elbow up, and I think he has a case there. Kowal. Grant for three. Can't go, and Kowal going to call over the back. Ten-point lead here for Southwest, coming up on a minute 15 now, remaining in the first quarter. Ochuti. Eden Ochuti spinning off. Nearly loses the ball. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Down low to Grace. Gets it to go in. The foul. Luke Grace. Good job that time by Rise to keep with it as the shot clock wound down.
And I think what's so big about that play is with this first quarter trailing, and you didn't have a strong first 8 minutes of this game. If you can close this quarter out strong, going into the second, both teams can be feeling completely differently than maybe what we expected just a minute ago.
Grace in and out that time on the free throw. Kowal had the right idea, just not strong enough on the pass. Grace looking to go to work again, and he gets it to go with the left hand. 6-point game now. Chance at a 2-for-1 here if you play it right, Southwest. Hiltz to Armstrong for three. Way off that time. And Kowal going up, no foul. But it's going to stay with Southwest here with 30.8 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Thrown over the head of Hiltz that time, and silly play by Southwest.
Again, just some miscommunication. We've seen that a couple of times now by Southwest, and this is one of those things we were talking about, how they're 4-7, they have a ton of talent, but sometimes it just gets away from them a little bit. They make some errors that can maybe turn a game from maybe being up 10 to right now being up 6 with a potential for it to be less.
Ochuti. Spin, fade, gets it to go. That was pretty that time, down low.
That was incredibly pretty. What a great play. And Rise has snuck themselves right back in this game.
De La Foresta, strong drive. What a pass to Kowal, who throws it down with authority.
Everyone's going to remember the dunk, but that pass was just as important as the dunk in the finish.
They got to get it off. Ochuti for three. Had a chance to go in that time, but no good. 6-point game. We're in store for a good one. You're watching OSBA TV. Stick around for second quarter action. Second quarter action here at Rise Center. Southwest up by 6 against Rise Prep. Grant, strong drive. Well done. Took his time that time. A little redundant, but you get what I mean. Ochuti to his brother. Kazadi throws it away, and you wonder if fatigue is a factor because Kazadi has not sat yet.
And that could be something that, as this game progresses, it might be something we start seeing in his play. I think that was just maybe a careless turnover, but that is something to keep an eye on with the fact that he hasn't rested yet.
Newton, they're going to call a travel on Brock that time. It is interesting to see because clearly, just looking at the benches right now, Rise does not have much depth. They have 10 total players on their team. Inside to Kazadi, gets it to go. Beautiful cut that time by Jonam. Newton, Della Foresta for 3. Clean look that time. What a find by Brock Newton.
Yeah, Brock Newton, he's a great scorer, but he can find his teammates, especially if they're wide open in the corner. And Della Foresta, we've seen him make a couple nice plays on the inside there. That was a nice play on the outside.
Turnover again.
And hey, just continue at it. Take a charge and make a play on the defensive end.
Has Beneby now to inbound a 9-point game. Potential to be double digits here. Refs just want to clean up a wet spot. Della Foresta guarded by Craven. Newton looking to go to work here. Kual has Beneby. Kual, nice find to Della Foresta. Ochuti, they have numbers. Ochuti to his brother, and he gets it to go. Good job that time by Noah Ochuti from Eden Ochuti, and Kevin Barnes wants to talk it over. And he's not happy with Della Foresta here. 32-25. 8:20 to go. You're watching OSBA TV. (32-25). Southwest leads Rise. Lots of time to go here in the first half. Coming up on 8 minutes. As Beneby tightly guarded by Ochuti. Here's Grant. Zephion Grant gonna take the shot. Too strong that time. Ochuti to his brother Eden. What a bounce pass to Kazadi, and he gets it to go. Beautifully done.
They caught Southwest sleeping there. They were too slow on the fast break, and that's just way too easy.
Newton, hesitation. Here's Kowal looking to go to work. Strong drive. No good. And Kowal's foot was on the line. It's going to go back to TRC. Kowal is really turning into one of my favorite players to watch in the OSBA. I always talk about Darius DeVario being my favorite player to watch because he gives 110%. But the way Kowal attacks, it's just full on, all effort, all game on both ends of the floor, and I love to watch. I love to see it.
Deceptively fast too. It seems like he can go on the fast break just as quick as anyone in this league. And I think that as the season continues on, I should say, he's going to get better and better.
So technically, they already have jumped Ridley College in the standings because they have a better division record. But if they win, this will go a long way for them to keep moving up in the standings. What a bailout shot that time by Ochuti. And you're going to see Coach Celebri. Looks like he's going to go for a full substitution here, all 5 guys. Hilt's going to try his luck from deep. No good. Touch pass to Grant. Decides not to take it. Ziphion Grant. No good, and he stepped out of bounds that time. Had the right idea, a little too fast.
For Ziphion Grant, it's interesting because it just seems like everything comes so easy to him. Every movement, every pass, every shot, it feels like it's just effortless. Obviously, on that shot, he didn't make it, but it's fascinating watching him play because it seems like he has complete control whenever he does anything on the court.
He's just a great athlete overall. Scott to Kraus. Inside to Kazadi again. They ran that play a few possessions ago and it worked. Good job by Southwest to recognize it. Newton to Benaby. Grant, shot fake, got him in the air. Oh, he had the right idea that time by Trent Johnson. Able to get back on the interior defense. Good job that time by Johnson.
In Southwest Academy, it's kind of quietly, they haven't had a great possession in a little bit. They've been stuck at 32 with 10 seconds on the clock. They're going to have to figure something out before Rise could potentially maybe even take this lead and take this game over.
Bounce inside to Della Foresta. Couldn't finish that time. Scott racing up court. Back to Stewart for 3. Rory Stewart, it looked good as soon as it came out of his hands. And they take the lead just like that. .6:12 remaining in the first half, and how the tables have turned, Joe.
And this is what we saw last week with Southwest Academy. It was a game of runs. They played great for a stretch, and then they couldn't buy a bucket. And that happened all game long, and it's looking like it's happening right now as well.
Hiltz going in strong. Tough possession that time again. Johnson to Kraus. And he's able to draw the foul, and he'll go to the charity stripe for 2.
Johnson and Kraus, both their best scorers for Rise, but they've been a little quiet in that first quarter. It seems like they're starting to pick it up, especially in the fast break.
Good on the first that time. Kraus coming to the game at about 74%. Shooting at the line. Makes both that time. Extends the lead to 3 here. Coming up on halfway to go in the second quarter. Is Benaby. Strong drive. Gets it to go and breaks the dry spell that Southwest had going on there for a couple minutes.
And he was one of those guys that was hot 2 games ago, but he's been quiet in this first half and in that game against Central Tech. As Benaby, when he's on, he is a true energy booster for this team.
No good that time by Kraus from the top. Newton going downhill, and the foul! Brock Newton once again going to head to the line and had a chance at an and 1.
And on that play, he did it all himself. It was just a shot-creating play, driving to the basket, getting the and 1. We mentioned how they were in a rut, and just like that, 2 straight great possessions by Southwest.
Well, I think that really all started because Mason Kraus was way too deep in the paint, in his own paint that time, and Newton recognized it, and Brock smart enough to recognize it, like I just said, and went right downhill at the undersized Mason Kraus. Off on the extra point, however. 1 point lead here for Southwest, 36-35. Scott to bring it up, guarded by Hiltz. Ochuti Johnson back up to Scott. Scott finds a lane. Bad pass that time, had Kraus wide open, and the and the percentage of that going in is very high.
And we've seen that from both teams, just some sloppy plays on when you're trying to get to a guy or when you're driving and you're trying to make that kick out. And those are those things that both these teams need to correct if they really want to make some noise moving forward in the final couple of months of the season.
Speneby looking to go to work here. Julian had him in the air. Butler pulls up his dribble and turned over that time. Good effort by De La Foresta. Doesn't work, and Johnson has a clean layup that time. Here we go, Southwest starting to push it again. Saw this a lot in that Central Tech game. De La Foresta can't get it to go off glass. Johnson to Kraus. Nice extra pass to Scott. Wide open. Can't deliver that time. Julian has Beneby to Newton. Thought he had some space to shoot it. Gets it to go again. Are they calling that on the floor? Or? Looks like the ref is. Oh, no, he's going to count the basket at that time. 38-37. Newton to the line for another chance at an and one here.
And I think that's something both of us want to see more from Brock Newton in his game, just creating his own shot and really trying to take over that game when his team is in a rut. He didn't really do much of that last week, or in their blowout losses start coming out of the winter break. I think Brock Newton, as he continues to get more confident in his shot and his own ability to create, I think that it's just going to get better and better for Southwest.
Off on the extra point again here for Southwest. And Rise continuing to push it. Stewart fell asleep that time and a turnover. Newton Euro step, gets it to go. Brock Newton is in his bag right now. And that bag says paint. That's it. He is not taking an outside shot. He is going right where the highest percentage shot can be. Kraus, beautiful move. Can't get the finger roll to go. Southwest pushing the pace again. Has Beneby to Kowal. Kowal, not a lot of spacing here. Kowal, drop step, blocked. What a play by Stewart. Great individual defensive play in the paint. And Scott pushing it up. Kraus, clean look for three. Can't get it to go. I would have tied the game. Ethan Butler going to slow things down here for Southwest. Brock Newton looking to go to work again. Tough pass that time. And Newton raises his hand saying, yep, that's on me.
And I think that's what's been killing both of these teams so far. It's just some critical mistakes in opportunities where if you were Rise Prep, you could have maybe taken the lead and taken control, and for Southwest where you could have really kind of gone away with this game. And it's just the turnovers they're going to need to stop for both of these teams. An
interesting lineup here for Rise Prep. Mario Celebrity going with a small lineup here other than Stewart on the floor. Craven has some space. Kraus not taking the shot, got pushed that time. Clear foul on the baseline.
And I think it was a good foul. You only had one foul so far in the second quarter. It looked like he was going to get a good look inside. Push him a little bit, take him out of bounds, reset your defense, and try to just play on.
Scott inbounds to Liam Craven. Kraus can't handle it. Guarded by his Beneby. Inside to Stewart. Looking to go to work in the low post. Drop step. Beautifully done that time. Good patience by Stewart.
Great patience, and the discipline needs to be a little bit better on Southwest, not to get off of your feet until you know that he's going to go up and take that shot.
Newton to De La Foresta. Spinning off Scott. Wow, Scott is just so fast. That looked like a clean block, but ref says there was contact on the play. Good on the first that time is Micah De La Foresta. De La Forest on the year, 7.7 points per game, and only a 53% free throw shooter. He'd like to see those numbers go up. He gets there quite a bit. And he makes both that time. Noah Julian coming into the game, along with Luke Torghini into the game for the first time. We didn't see much of him in that Central Tech game, number 10 on Southwest. Picking up a tough assignment on Cole Scott to get the switch. Ochuti looking to go to work. Uses his strength and gets it to go.
That's a tough shot, too. Doesn't look tough, but that was a tough shot to make, and it's going to cut this deficit to 1 now.
And they immediately attack Torghini. As Benaby going in strong, lose the ball. Rise with a chance to take the lead. Crab into Kraus. Extra pass to Ochuti. Shot fake, going in strong, misses the layup. A little out of control. Kowal thought he might have got away with the travel that time. Regardless, he lays it in. And back up to a 3-point lead with 90 seconds remaining in the first half. Scott just blowing by everyone. Open Kraus. You think he's going to start making those eventually. Craven for 3. No good. Their main shooters have been missing wide open shots tonight.
They're starting to draw cold behind that perimeter, and it's going to be an issue if they can't figure it out quickly.
And he might have got away with the travel last time, but not this time. And a timeout coming here. Looks like Mario Celebri wants to talk it over. We're going to take our final break of the half. 1:08 remaining. Welcome back. You're watching OSBA TV 3-point game. We got a good one here for you. 1:08 remaining in the first half. Rise Prep trails Southwest Academy 44-41. Here's Kraus. Over to Stewart down low. Craven, they're going to say stepped out of bounds that time. Rise has just seemed off. They're missing open shots tonight. It's unlike them. Has Benaby now to take it up. Torghini. Once again, it's tough to get past Cole Scott. Newton for 3. Tough shot. Great defense by Kraus. Outlet pass to him. Kraus, strong move. Can't draw the foul. Southwest, 3-on-2. Torghini passes it up. Has Benaby for 3. Delivers! Ruben has Benaby his first bucket of the game.
And that was clean as you can get it. And it looks like they might have one more opportunity if Rise can't maybe take the shot with 1 or 2 seconds left on the clock.
Looks like they're turning off the shot clock now. Scott. Strong drive. No good. Newton to Kowal. They got to get a shot off. And no good that time. 47-41 Southwest with a 6-point lead here at the end of 2 quarters. You're watching OSBA TV. Stick around for second half action. Coming up in about Second half action underway here at Rise Center in Brantford, Ontario. Rise, the home team, trailing by 6 right now as Brock Newton tips it out of bounds that time. And Southwest has really set themselves up, ultimately to end this 4-game winning streak. They had played a really good first half, but in saying that, they played a pretty good first half against Central Tech as well. And we saw the end of that. We saw the end result of that game.
And now what's important for them is to just be consistent and efficient with how they play. Play your game, play at your pace, and so far so good for Southwest. But both teams have been a little sloppy in parts of this game so far. So anything can still really happen with only it being a 6-point game.
And Ziphion Grant not starting this. Oh, sorry. Ziphion is starting the second half. Della Forrester in. Kazadi to Kraus. Finally gets it to go.
Much needed.
He was due for that shot. Grant inside to Kowal. Grant decides not to take it. Strong move. Baseline cut off that time. Hezbenabi with a decent look. Can't respond on 3-point shot. Della Forresta gets it to go. Southwest has just been a little bit more active tonight on the glass.
And that's why they were so successful just last week when they were up against Central Tech. They were great on the offensive boards.
Scott inside to Kazadi. Going in strong. You like to see more of that from him. Jonam Kazadi coming in as the third leading scorer for this Rise team with 9.5 points per game. Hezbenabi to Della Forresta. Can't get it to go. You think Kraus might have altered that shot into Scott. Kazadi can't finish on the rebound. Gets another rebound and finally finishes.
And Kazadi's been one of their best players this entire game. Other than a couple maybe shots that he shouldn't have taken, he has been driving to the basket and he's been successful most of the time.
Kowal responding. Fast down the other end. Kraus to Scott. Scott, what a quick first step. My goodness, see how fast he got around Hezbenabi that time.
Yeah, if you're just half a second late, he's just going to blow right by you, and he's going to be in the paint in no time. And on that opportunity, he gets to the free throw line.
I think you got to put him as perhaps the fastest guard, if not the fastest player in the OSBA. I mean, you got guys like Justice Prentice, DeVario, Shamar, Kobe Elvis, all these fast players, but Cole Scott, I don't know if I've seen a player in the OSBA this year as fast as him.
And with his speed, he creates such a mismatch, not just for the person in front of him, but when he blows past them, it almost feels like the entire defense just immediately runs to him, and that can lead to opportunities on the perimeter or, like right there, just a ton of contact just to try to stop him.
Hezbenabi to Julian. Here's Newton in the corner, not shy about it. Brock Newton. Letting him know. 54-50, 7:55 remaining in the third quarter. Scott to the right-hand side again. Scott, hesitation to Kraus. Looking for 2 in a row for Mason Kraus. Looks like he's starting to heat up here, Joe.
And that was exactly what I was talking about. Just that quick spot inside led almost everyone on the perimeter after him, and that led to an open shot.
Grant nearly turned over. They're going to call a kick ball on Kraus. For Mason Kraus, all you need to see is one go in, and the next 5 can go in. He's that good of a shooter.
And what's important for him is just to stay confident in his shot, not to hesitate and not to doubt if he has a good look.
Kowal over to Hezbenabi, gonna let it fly, in and out that time. Here's Scott racing down the court. Kraus gonna try his luck again. No good. Southwest has numbers now. Wide open, Kowal for 3. The southpaw in and out that time. Julian, Kowal gonna try his luck inside, and he gets it to go.
We don't see Kowal take too many threes, and it almost went in for him, but what we saw right there is what we're used to seeing Kowal do and be so successful at.
Stolen, almost. Johnson coming back for Kowal, not giving up. Kowal gets it, and Kowal with a bit of insurance at the end of that one.
What an unbelievable play by Kowal. Just an a fantastic effort on the steal. We thought it was going to go out of bounds or at least stay the same possession, but what a great deflection to keep it inside, and then we saw him drop the hammer on that dunk at the end.
What a play. It looked like, Trent Johnson was like, okay, he's not going to keep going for it, but Kowal not giving up that time. 58-53, 5-point game here, 6:44. We're going to take a quick break. Rise trails. Welcome back, and we saw a great effort play by Kowal, and we heard Mario Celebri during the break saying, wake up, and it seems like Rise is kind of falling asleep on the defensive end here as Rory Stewart with another great drop step down low. Three-point game. Kowal. That's going to be a little bit too strong on the pass that time.
Just not on the same page. It looked like Kowal was going to go inside, but instead the pass is on the perimeter, and it leads to a pretty bad turnover for Southwest.
Scott. Here's Trent Johnson. Back to Rory Stewart. Going to go to work in the post again. Nice find to Kraus. Baseline. Great ball movement that time. Just couldn't finish at the rim. Julian streaking down the other end, and he misses the dunk, but there's Grant. He misses the easy layup. 2 points. 4 potential points that time, missed. Johnson, wide open shot here, decides not to take it. Goes inside, misses the layup. Sloppy play on both ends from both of these teams. And now Scott has a clear lane here, and he'll flush it down with 2 hands. Back to a 1-point game.
And you said it perfectly, just sloppy play on both sides, and Rise is able to get a basket there, but it almost feels like Southwest is up by 15, but it's only a 1-point game. It's been a little bit odd on both sides at times as Ziffian Grant takes a 3 and he falls short.
Bit of a confident shot that time. Scott behind the back. Cole Scott can't finish, but the tip in by Johnson that time gives Rise Prep the lead once again. Ziffian Grant taking his time up court now. Julian in the post against Stewart. Know what Julian wants it. Just keeps it in. Grant. Bounce pass to Kowal. Tries to throw it over him. My goodness, Stewart met him at the summit, but he'll have a chance at 2 shots
here. He had high hopes for that one, that's for sure. It almost feels like I'm watching a different game than what the scoreboard is telling me. It's a little surreal to know that Rise has the lead right now. It felt like Southwest was kind of hitting on all cylinders, but a turnover here, a turnover there, a missed shot by Ziffian Grant that was basically a gimme, and just like that, Rise is able to get right back in it and have the lead.
Kowal ties the game up at 59. And Kowal gets the bounce. That time goes 2 of 2 at the line, and Southwest has the lead once again. Going back to Stewart in the post. Looks like they have a mismatch down there. He's calling for it again. Butler trying to hold his own down there. Great footwork that time, but couldn't finish with the hook. And it's going to stay with Rise that time, and the shot clock's going to reset. A couple substitutions coming in now. Ochuti and Luke Grace checking into the game for Rise. Kazadi Gazzotti wants it in the post down low against Kual. It's a tough matchup. Good first step of Butler with the rejection. Newton, one dribble, blocked on the other end by Kraus. Stolen by Butler. Butler going in strong. No call on the play. Gazzotti with it down the other end. Just keeps it in and then he loses it. Looks like Kraus is down on the other end after that block. Scary moment here, but looks like he's going to get up. Looks like he took a shot to a face, but anytime that happens, you gotta hold your breath. You know, we saw, I was down in Orangeville last week, Orangeville versus Central Tech, and a scary moment with Darius D'Averio. Hit his head off the floor, and ambulance had to be called and stuff. Thankfully, he's all right, but you know, you gotta, like I said, you gotta hold your breath in those moments and hope for the best.
It's always scary, and I don't think people maybe think sometimes how dangerous a sport like basketball can be. It might not be in quotations, a contact sport, but when you hit that cord and you hit that wood, it could be pretty painful and pretty serious.
It's definitely hardwood. Here's Hiltz now, guarded by Kraus, who's thankfully all right. Newton extends his range that time, short and hits front of the iron. Kraus to take it up for Rise. Gazzotti, they just keep it in. Oh, they deflect it out, and it'll go back to Southwest. Southwest continuing to out-hustle Rise here. Kual. Here's his Beneby. It's Beneby. Strong drive. Newton trying to take it in, try to draw the foul. No whistle on the play. Gazzotti streaking down low, and Kual fell asleep that time, and that's on him. And Rise takes the lead once again. Stolen by Gazzotti, getting it done on both ends of the floor. Kraus to Schutte. Inside to Johnson, charge call. Good job by Jaleel Hiltz to sacrifice his body that time.
Yeah, that was a great play by Hiltz, but it is interesting. It seems like Kual has been maybe the difference maker for Southwest on their side, but then on the flip side, Gazzotti, he's been just as good, and they've been going toe-to-toe this whole game, and it seems like that might be the matchup that can determine maybe who gets the edge in this game.
Most of the bench on now for Rise, except Gazzotti and Johnson. Newton down low to Kual, guarded by Grace. Grant finds an open Hiltz. He's going to let it fly. No good that time. Schutte, Johnson, strong drive. Looked like he got hit on the arm that time, and no foul. Kual can't get it to Grant on the offensive board. Blocked that time by Grace, but a late whistle. Looks like Grace will pick it up.
I think you could tell on both possessions there where it looked like there could have been some contact on the other side. They let it go. There was some contact there on Kual that they let go, but I think the second time when they finally saw some more contact, they had to finally blow their whistle.
2:11 remaining in the third quarter in what's been a great game so far up until this point.
It really has, and it's fascinating how this game kind of felt like both teams have had massive leads at certain points, when in the reality is it's really been a 3, 4, 5-point game, maybe 6 at best at times, minus maybe that Southwest 10-point lead early in the first quarter.
Now they're going to sit Trent Johnson here, and he's visibly frustrated on the bench, believes he's not getting the calls going his way. And I got to agree with him on that last play. It looked like he clearly got hooked on the baseline, but on to the next play now. 2 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Luke Grace wants it in the post. Didn't find him on the mismatch that time, and Craven going to let it fly. Craven can't seem to open the lid tonight, and it's going to stay this way. It looks like, no, foul on Rise, sorry.
And you mentioned Craven. He's not a guy who scores a lot of points every game, but he's a great three-point shooter. So he basically makes those threes maybe at crucial parts. It's just this game he hasn't really been able to make a shot.
In fact, Liam Craven, that's where he shoots most of his shots. Newton gets it to go off glass once again. Whenever they really needed a bucket, Brock Newton has come through tonight. Eden Oshudi, not great spacing here from Rise. Oshudi spinning off Hiltz, gets it to go, and the foul. Noah Oshudi, welcome sight here for Rise Prep. Substitution coming in now. You're going to see Stewart come in for Kazadi. Brock Newton to take it up for Southwest. Coming up on a minute remaining in the third quarter. Grant going to work. Stolen, but off the foot of Eden Oshudi. Grant, tough pass that time. Della Forsta can't hit from the mid-range here. Oshudi, Noah that is, to Craven, a healthy look, as good as it gets all day for him, and he finally drains one. Just like that, Rise takes a 3-point lead. Kowal to Hiltz. Looking to respond here for three. Can't do it that time as it's off the iron. Eden Oshudi streaking out. Oshudi finds an open Craven, looking to make it 2 for 2 in a row. William Craven starting to heat up here late in the third quarter.
I think everyone in this gym saw that one coming. We got another open look.
Newton now gonna hold for the final shot here. Shot clock turned off. Kowal going in, using his strength, and he draws the foul that time on Grace. And Grace pleading for an offensive foul that time. Hits the first. Ref's discussing something here. 2 seconds on the clock after this free throw. And he hits both that time. Perhaps a final shot here. Oshudi has a chance. Too strong that time, and it's 70-66. And Joe, last game against Central Tech, Southwest going into the fourth quarter was trailing by 3. Now they're trailing by 4.
We'll see if they can have maybe a better fourth quarter than they did against Central Tech. But right now, this game is right in front of them.
Exactly. We'll see if Southwest can get back into this game and ultimately end their 4-game losing streak. You're watching OSBA TV. Back here in the fourth quarter. And Rise still with their bench on the floor. Newton gets to the line on the first play of the quarter. And Brock really hasn't got much time on the bench here. Wonder if that's going to come and catch up with Southwest here, as Coach Celebre has done a good job of rotating his players despite being the less deeper bench here. Newton good on the first. In and out on the second that time. 3-point game, final quarter. Craven. Stewart, extra pass. Ochuti can't hit that time. Newton. Southwest trouble coming down with the rebound. Grace for three. Gets it to go. The big man extending his range.
That was a great play by Rise to make sure the ball was still in play. Found the open man. He took that step back to get that three-pointer. And again, they're leading by 6. We'll see if Southwest can maybe cut it again.
Has Benaby block and foul that time on Rise.
And if you're Rise, that's not something you really want to see right now. It's been less than a minute and you're already got 2 fouls in.
Grant finds Newton up top. Play run for Ziphion here. Going in strong, tries to float it off glass, can't do so. And Ochuti was out of bounds by the time he gained possession. It will stay with Southwest. Grant can inbound here. Finds Newton. Spinning off. Has Benaby. Knifing through the D. Gets the soft touch on the floater. Ochuti. Guarded by Armstrong. Stewart for three. The big men are extending the range here in the fourth quarter for TRC. Grant, quick first step that time. Can't finish over Rory Stewart. Craven for three. Can't get it to go, and Stewart, no shot that time, but foul on the floor. And if Craven hit that three, the lead would have ballooned right to 10 points.
And right now, it kind of feels like Southwest is sleeping defensively. They're not really getting and running out to the to the player who's got the ball on the perimeter, and leading to open looks. And right now, like you said, it could have been a 10-point lead. It still can with them holding possession.
Ochuti now going strong, loses the ball midair. It's Benaby to Grant for a three. Can't answer. And Ochuti keeps it in. Nearly stolen from Grant. Now it is. To Armstrong. Going up strong. Can't get it to go. Tarek will keep it in. And he loses it. And Ochuti will flush it down with two. And this game is clearly in favor of Rise right now as they go up by 9. And Coach Kevin Barnes wants to talk it over. We're going to take a quick break here. Stick around. Welcome back to OSBA TV. Newton, Euro step. Can't finish. Ochuti to Craven for three. Gets it to go. And Rise Prep has gone into their bag and pulled out points because they are scoring in a flurry here, and Southwest has no answer for them right now.
Yeah, this has been a disaster of a start of this fourth quarter for Southwest Academy, and just an absolute stunner in the way that they're shooting the ball from on the arc.
And Joe, it's scary how similar it is to that Central Tech game that we called a week ago with Southwest, how good they played and how they look like they can compete with the best teams through three quarters, and the fourth quarter comes and it just seems like they fall apart.
It definitely seems easy in practice to say, well, in the fourth quarter, like, why aren't you playing the same ways you did 3 quarters ago? But sometimes there's just that extra level that players and teams can really go through when they hit that fourth quarter, that final stretch of a game. And for Southwest Academy, this game's not over.
No.
It's still 11 points with 7 minutes left, but like you said, eerily similar to what happened less than a week ago.
You just put yourself in a hole again, and now you have to climb yourself out of it. After having a 6-point lead at half, Stewart almost adds insult to injury that time. Now they're down by 11 as Grant racing up, too strong again. We've seen a couple plays like that, and it looks like Grant's down. Looks like he's holding his knee at the other end as Ochuti scores. Grant grasping onto that knee pretty badly over there.
Yeah, it didn't look like a good landing, and hopefully everything's okay, but from the looks of it, he's clearly in a ton of pain.
It's a 13-point lead. Scary sight here, but we're going to step away for a moment. Hope Grant's okay here. We're back here in Brantford at Rice Center. Thankfully, Ziphion Grant was able to get up and walk off on his own power that time. It's like he just took a hard spill that time.
And unfortunately for Southwest now, one of their best players has to sit on the bench in a crucial part in this game.
Della Foresta and Julian in now to replace him. Della Foresta misses the three-point shot there. And Craven over to Stewart. Ochuti. And the scary thing is Rise is doing this with their bench. They're not doing it with their starters other than Rory Stewart. Ochuti can't hit the three-point shot. Newton comes down with it. There's been a lid on the basket so far here. And Newton can't break that dry spell. Ochuti to Craven to Stewart. Great ball movement here by Rise. Craven way beyond the arc. Misses everything that time from
I think
three.
he was feeling it a little too much on that shot, but right now, if you're Southwest Academy, you need to draw up your best play. You need to figure something out that you know when push comes to shove, this is the play you want to run because they need to score on this possession.
Hiltz to Newton for three. Still can't take the lid off the basket.
And that's your best player taking an open shot, and that's a look that he's confident in making. They just can't buy a bucket.
Craven down to Stewart. There's a mismatch down there. Stewart, drop step again. Can't overpower Beneby that time. Got a little too deep in the post. Julian to Della Foresta. One dribble. Draws the foul on Luke Grace. 5:23 remaining. Lots of time to go here. Coming up on halfway in the fourth quarter. But it's a 13-point deficit, and they got to score in a hurry.
And they have to score in a hurry because it doesn't really feel like it's a 13-point game, but they're right in it. It feels like this game is pulling away from them. So they need to start playing better. I think they need to start turning some of their defense, playing well, get a steal, get a block, do something to shift the momentum and start feeling yourself so when you go on the offensive side, you can make something happen.
Newton gets it to go off glass. Back down to a 10-point lead here. It looks like Mario Celebri wants to talk it over, and I expect the starters to come back into the game now with about halfway through the fourth quarter. We're going to take a quick break here. Stick around. Good fourth quarter coming up. Back here, 5:20 remaining in the fourth quarter. Southwest has cut it back down to a 10-point lead here. But the scary thing about that is that Rise just put their starters back on the floor. Johnson, Kazadi, nice find to Kraus. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Stepped out of bounds. All that great ball movement for a turnover.
And that was because the defense was rushing to the outside, playing strong, getting active hands to make things difficult and make Rise hesitate on taking a shot.
Newton. Bad pass that time. Scott. You can really see that Southwest is trying to play those passing lanes and trying to come up with a steal here. Spin by Kazadi. Johnson for three. Still can't take the lid off for him personally tonight. He's had a tough night, really throughout the game.
Him and Strauss the tough night.
Johnson finally gets an open shot, and he flushes it down. 12-point lead here. As Benaby going in strong, creates space and gets it to go. Good solid drive that time by Ruben. As you see, a welcome sight here though on the sideline. Ziphion Grant can set the check back in here. Johnson. Over to Scott. Swinging the ball around once again. Cut by Johnson. Oh, what a pretty move. Just can't finish. Golden opportunity that time. And now Southwest with a chance to cut it within single digits. As Benaby, oh, what an acrobatic layup that time. 8-point game, Joe. Hilt guarding Scott. As Benaby comes up on him. Scott. They're going to call a foul on the floor that time.
And that was a great play by Benaby to cut him off there. It looked like he was going to get him, but he's just so quick, and it's going to be really tough to really stop him in open space. And if you're Rise, you need to get a good possession here because the momentum is starting to shift.
Johnson. To Kraus, over to Kazadi. And Stewart calling for it in the post again. It's got a mismatch. Running hook. Good shot that time. High percentage, just unable to get the soft touch to go. Hilt gonna pull up a confident shot. Hilt in and out. I don't think Kevin Barnes is happy about that one. And Stewart on the other end to Scott. Tried the no-look pass that time, but Hilt's hustling back.
And sometimes you get a little too fancy in a situation like that where just play smart, be conservative in a situation where you know you're winning the game. Maybe take a little bit more clock off. Try to find a better look.
And now Kowal into the game after a long extended rest here. So you have a fresh Kowal. Interesting to see the impact he has right now. 2:50 remaining in the fourth. Stewart for three. Can't go. Kowal. Kickball violation that time. Here's Newton. Had some space there. Surprised he didn't take it. Grant pulling up now with the floater. No good that time. Johnson to Scott. Misses the layup, but there's Trent Johnson on the follow. 10-point lead once again, 2:15. Has Benaby to Kowal. And Grant stepped out of bounds again here.
And since that first quarter, Ziphion Grant has really struggled to score a basket, and in that situation.
It's the exact same thing that happened. It's eerily similar how similar this game is to the last one that they played. Kazadi, bounce to Stewart, spin move, no good, but Johnson again. 2 follow-ups in a row.
And no one there to get the rebound is just inexcusable in a situation like that. You have to be prepared to get the basketball once it hits the rim.
Newton to Della Foresta. And that has been the story tonight. Unable to make shots. Scott misses, but there's Kazadi on the follow. 3 baskets in a row have come off offensive rebounds, Joe.
And I think that's going to be the downfall for their team now. Down 14 with 1:30 to go.
Kowal, strong drive, misses. And that's the kind of fourth quarter it's been here for Southwest. Bounce. Johnson thought he got away with the travel, but the ref calls it that time.
And now we're talking about 2 straight games. They're on a 5-game losing streak, but these 2 games that's happened in the last week, they're winnable games for Southwest Academy. And a team that's going to be now going to 4-8, they could be looking at instead being 6-5, and that's a huge difference. And when we get to the play-ins, I still think they'd be able to get there.
Yeah, and quite frankly, they got lucky that Ridley lost tonight after they came back. But we're going to take our final break tonight. OSBA TV, stick around. .124 remaining, and Rise Prep has really taken over this game here in the fourth quarter, Joe.
And that's something that I think when we were talking about before the game is this is something that these teams need to prove when you want to talk about winning a championship or contending for a championship. Rise Prep, they're 7-5. They're in a really, really tough division. But you're going to be moving on to 8-5 now. You were able to close this game out in the fourth quarter. This is a good sign for them and a good opportunity for them to continue their good season despite being in fourth place in a really tough division.
As Benaby hits the first here. And Kazadi comes down with the rebound, 91-78. Coming up on the final minute here. Expect Rise to use some of the clock, as they've continued to swing the ball well here in the fourth quarter. Johnson, floater, no good. They get an offensive rebound. Kraus, long range 3. No good that time. Off the hands of Rory Stewart. 43 seconds remaining in the game. Southwest. A couple more shots here. Got to play with pride now.
And if you're Southwest Academy, this is a game that's going to be tough to swallow, but I still think that I stand by the fact that there's a ton of talent on this team.
And there's still time. Scott, easy layup that time. That should pretty much do it here after this shot from Southwest. Rondo shot fake that time, and Grant finally gets one to go here in the fourth. I expect Scott to dribble it out here. His shot clock is turned off now for Rise. And that'll do it here in Brantford, Ontario, at the Rise Center. We got treated to a couple good games here tonight, Joe.
Yeah, both games a little bit weird. In the first game, seemed like it was going to be a blowout. Got really close at the end. And on this one, it was tight almost the whole game, but it was Rise Prep who was able to pull away at the very end for a 93-80 win.
Well, hey, thanks for joining us tonight on OSBA TV. Once again, final score of the second game, 93-80. Rise comes away with it. Both teams defend their home court tonight, but make sure you guys tune in tomorrow. We got a great midseason matchup. TRC goes and visits Father Henry Carr. Me and Joe will be back on the call tomorrow. For everyone at OSBA TV, Joe D'Agostino, producer Yorm Kerbal, I'm Anthony Gaio saying have a great night.